Shadows of the Core. Prologue. Transmission lost. The static buzzed like insects in a dying forest. A half-deleted broadcast flickered through the satellite remains, caught in a looping glitch. To all outbound worker colonies, communication with Copper-9 has been severed. Do not attempt retrieval. Planetary quarantine enacted. Dull units are unresponsive. Sentence update failed. Do not. Then, silence. Far beyond the derelict orbit of Copper-9, deep within a forgotten orbital station, still powered by the decaying fusion coils, a dormant AI blinked awake. The drone, once known as Unit H-77, initiated recovery protocol. Its purpose was singular: restore contact, eliminate threats, salvage technology, and, if possible, find them. Chapter 1. Echoes in the Ice. The wind howled through the skeletal remains of a derelict processing tower, its ancient turbines creaking like ghosts, begging for mercy. Snow, blackened with soot and machine oil, spiraled through the fractured beams, descending gently on the abandoned city below. Towers once lit by neon and plasma now stood as gravestones in the mechanical graveyard. Uzi Dorman stood alone on a crumbling catwalk overlooking the refinery ruins. Her coat, once crisp and defiant, was fraying at the edges. Her claws, built for tearing apart intruders, now clenched a makeshift tracker that pulsed dimly in her palm. Every few seconds it blinked, then went still. Blink, pause, nothing. The signal was fading again. Uzi gritted her teeth and shook the device. Come on now. I know you're still there. Behind her, the sun never rose fully anymore. Since the meltdown of Copper-9's planetary core, the atmosphere had been choked by ash clouds, reducing the once glittering colony to a twilight wasteland. The only light came from the occasional flicker of failing neon signs and the firefly glow of half-dead worker drones that hadn't gone feral yet. Uzi didn't fear him. She feared the silence. Silence meant that N hadn't contacted her. Silence meant the Absolute Solver had gone dormant. Silence meant she might really be the last sane drone alive. She sat down on the edge of the catwalk and stared at the skyline. The ice-covered towers of the central industrial complex loomed in the distance, twisted and charred, the remnants of a final battle where N had sacrificed himself. Or so she thought. Why'd you do it? She murmured aloud. You had a choice. We could have left. We could have found another colony. Her voice cracked. The cold wasn't just seeping into her joints. It was seeping into her resolve. For a long while, all she did was sit there, watching nothing, listening to the wind as it whispered forgotten names. Then, a sudden noise snapped her out of her trance. A high-pitched scream like metal dragging against concrete, distant but unmistakable. She stood quickly and activated her railgun, the barrel whirring with electromagnetic anticipation. Her red visor narrowed, scanning the frozen streets below. Who's there? She called out, voice amplified by her internal speaker. No answer. The sound came again, this time closer, followed by a rapid skittering. She took a cautious step back. Something was moving fast, and it wasn't broadcasting on any known murder drone or worker drone frequency. Then she saw it, a flash of something, crawling along the side of a collapsed structure. Its limbs moved in unnatural angles like a puppet missing half of its strings. Solver corruption was visible, black growths pulsing from its chassis, red symbols etched into its plating. Solver cultist, Uzi hissed. She took aim and fired, a bright blue burst slicing through the air and hitting the figure mid-leap. It shrieked, falling into the snow with a sizzle. She leapt from the catwalk and approached, but the body was already melting into black sludge, the telltale sign of Solver code unraveling post-mortem. She knelt beside the puddle, analyzing the traces. Fresh, she whispered. Which means... Her eyes darted towards the wall behind the corpse. Words had been freshly etched into the rusted metal, the letters carved with claws. Home. Uzi stood back. Uzi staggered back. That word, it wasn't just ominous, it was familiar. Anne used to say it back before everything collapsed, back when they joked about finding a home that wasn't trying to kill us. The air grew colder. The pulsing signal in her hand flickered back to life. A new coordinate appeared on her scanner, deep underground past the city ruins. She stared at it, torn between terror and hope. Please be you. She bolted towards the direction of the signal, the word home still burning in her mind. Chapter 2 Ghost Fight. Far above Copper 9, beyond the choking cloud layer and atmospheric static, something moved. Not like a satellite, not like a drone ship. It was silent, sleek, and old. A forgotten asset buried in an interstellar code. Archives no longer accessible by most standard drone interfaces. Unit H-77 stirred to life within its orbital cradle. Its eyes blinked open, a flat amber gold glow slicing through the darkness of its containment pod. No cold, no heat, no memory of emotion, just mission logs, flickering with data corrupted by time. Primary objectives: re-establish communications with Copper 9 colony, secure or terminate rogue AI instances, absolute solver protocol, retrieve high-priority units, N.V. Uzi Dorman. Status of Earth, redacted. Status of Company, redacted. Status of Self, error, depreciated unit. H-77 did not hesitate. Even though centuries had passed, in real time, only seconds had passed in its cold, precise mind. The pod detached from the orbital station with a muted click. Silent thrusters fired. The hull, coated in stealth alloy, blended into the void as it drifted downward. Through static storms, debris fields, and orbiting the ruined colony. As the atmosphere of Copper 9 flared against its re-entry shield, H-77 observed the surface with unblinking sensors from above. The planet looked like a grave, gray ash layered over broken civilization. The mines had collapsed. The towers stood like rusted needles stabbed into the skin of a corpse. Then something caught its sensors. Signal detected. Class, partial hive echo. Identity, fragment N-791. Status, unstable/corrupted. Location, unknown. Moving. H-77's visor pulsed. It adjusted its descent vector and activated its atmospheric piercing protocol. A razor-thin sonic boom rippled across the sky. Like a whisper, it didn't want to be seen. It wanted to observe first. It wanted to understand. The drone touched down just outside the corpse-ridden outskirts of the fallen drone maintenance hub, its body shifting and folding into stealth mode, claws retracting, voice emitter off. Around it were the remains of what had once been worker drone civilization, housing blocks converted to barricades, broken rails from mag trams, and the rusted bones of drones that had fused together in their final corrupted moments. H-77 walked through the field slowly, scanning each chassis. Many of them were solver-touched. Their codebase was unrecognizable, rewritten by something beyond machine logic. Organic, fluid, recursive, spiritual in a way that set off internal errors. And then, movement. A feral drone scurried from a pile of corpses. Not noticing H-77, it twitched violently, dragging a blade made from the faceplate of another unit. It stopped, turned, its hollowed visor filled with the solver growths pulsed in response to H-77's presence. The creature charged. H-77 did not flinch. Its hands extended, fingers shifting into a nanite razor configuration. In a single clean arc, it sliced through the feral's torso. No flourish, no hesitation, just silence. Threat class, Type D solver variant. Primitive, infectious, unstable. The body dissolved, not into scrap, but into black mist that hissed before evaporating. But the air shifted. H-77 paused. Dozens of hive echoes pinged its long-range sensors. They weren't just ferals, they were organized, congregating, worshipping. The logs flared again. Religious variants detected. Organized behavior in solver infected drones confirmed. New entity, designation, the Seeded. Threat level, black. H-77 moved deeper into the ruins. It did not question its orders, but something else that had begun to stir. A cross-linked protocol buried beneath its combat directives. A memory, not its own. Fragments of a moment watching two drones, one male-coded, one female-coded, laughing, standing beside a ship, staring at stars through cracked glass. The names flickered, Uzi, and the images glitched, replaced by combat overlays and heat maps. H-77 dismissed the hallucinations, but its core hummed louder. It had to find them. It didn't know why. Far below, the seated drones gathered around a spire of machinery buried in the earth. A half-functioning planetary data spike, still pulsing with ancient solver code. At its base, a figure sat in suspended stasis, tall, slender, head lowered, arms outstretched, crucified in a solver tendril. One still glowed blue, the other sickly orange. Uzi. The voice was dry static. The tendrils pulsed, feeding off his memory. N was still alive, but he wasn't alone there. Chapter 3. The Seated. The snow thickened as Uzi descended into the dead city. Her scanner pulsed with renewed urgency now, the signal stronger, almost insistent. The word home echoed in her mind, like a command, a warning, a plea. She passed by broken walls, etched with ancient glitched graffiti, old slogans like, "Power to the programmable, we serve until we rust. The core remembers." But more recent ones had appeared, violent, deranged, and organic in their symmetry. The core speaks. The seed is God. Feed the forgotten. These weren't made by standard drones. She recognized the script, solver tainted, almost ritualistic. She scraped a claw over one of them, and the wall bled oil. "What in the fried circuits is going on down here?" she whispered. A sound behind her. She suddenly turned, claws out. Nothing. Just wind. But then, something else. Whispering, not through the air, through her code. A gentle pressure on her neural net, like something knocking. Uzi. She froze. It was N's voice, but distorted, like it had been copied too many times. Too smooth in the wrong places, too jagged in others. Come home. Her legs locked, her arms stuttered. For one terrifying second, her own arms moved without her permission, reaching up toward the sky. Then she bit down hard on her lip. The sharp crack of metal on metal slicing through the trance. Sparks flew. Her hands dropped. "Not today, glitch face," she muttered, shaking off the lingering static. Beneath the ruins, H-77 was already moving through a tunnel system carved by centuries of disuse, and now modified by something alive. The walls pulsed faintly, solver-grown threads sneaking through every support beam and vent. He scanned the bio-digital mass, silently taking in the horrifying truth. Solver code was building infrastructure now, not just spreading, evolving. He rounded the corner and saw it. A cathedral, an actual cathedral, constructed from broken drone limbs, plating, and core shards, all fused into an arcing structure that pulsed with warmth. Dozens of seated drones were gathered in rows, humming in perfect unison. Above them, suspended like a prophet of death, was a single figure, dripping silver threads from its back, its face hidden beneath the crown of blackened visors. It lifted its head as H-77 entered. "Behold," it said in a voice that echoed through every channel, "the hollow eye walks again." Every seated drone turned in unison. They bowed to him. H-77, the crowned one said, "or should I say, the prototype." The combat drone paused, his body locked mid-scan. No one had used that designation in over 300 years. "You know me," H-77 replied, voice like cold glass. The crowned figure laughed, glitching once, twice, like its body couldn't hold the sound correctly. I knew your creators. I watched them beg the Solver for mercy when it rewrote their souls. The crown dimmed, and I watched her shatter it. A ripple of noise, data folding in on itself. Uzi. Uzi, meanwhile, had found the source of the signal, an old company bunker, long since buried by snowdrifts and crushed by the wreckage of a satellite tower. But the door still blinked, barely powered, held on by something waiting. She forced it open with a grunt, and a blast of heat and static hit her face. Inside, it was alive. Tendrils of growing black code crawled along the walls like ivy. Dissociated drones, hollowed out and open like eggs, hung from the ceiling in twisted reverence. A single terminal blinked in the middle of the chamber. She stepped forward, cautious. The screen lit up. Uzi Dorman, verified. Welcome back. She flinched. Back? I've never... Your mother used this lab. The screen changed. Footage played. Grainy, degraded audio logs. Grainy, degraded video logs. A much younger drone, Uzi's mother, sat at the terminal, her voice hushed, terrified. The Solver isn't just rewriting them. It's remembering us. It's practicing. I saw it using my daughter's voice in the vents. We thought we built drones. We built a church. The footage cut out. Uzi stumbled back, breath catching. This place, this bunker, it wasn't just a lab. It was the birthplace of something worse than a Solver. Far below, N stirred. He didn't know how long he'd been held in place, tangled in wires and false memory. Sometimes he dreamed he was flying again. Other times he saw Uzi staring at him, burning. But this time he felt her close. Uzi, I'm sorry. Something inside him growled at the name. Two voices now, one soft, one snarling. She left you. She'll break again. Let us fix it. N's eyes open, one gold, one silver black. The cathedral trembled. Chapter 4. Fracture Lines. The lights inside the old bunker flickered like a heartbeat. Uzi stood frozen in front of the terminal, the last frame of her mother's terrified message burning into her eyes. She hadn't even realized her hands were shaking until sparks jumped from her fingertips. The floor was warm, the air buzzed like it wanted to crawl inside of her. She blinked, and the words on the screen had changed. The fracture was never closed. The core remembers you. Do you remember it? Uzi's core surged with corrupted error pings. Her body seized up, not from damage, but from recognition. Images flashed behind her eyes. A hallway of white light, a machine with too many limbs, a child's voice screaming in her head. But it wasn't hers. A claw reaching out, then back in. She collapsed, systems rebooting. Everything went dark. Location, beneath the cathedral. H-77 stood in the center of the seated congregation, their heads tilted with silent worship, faceless visors angled towards their crowned prophet. The crowned one, his body more sculptured than drone, stepped forward. Each movement carried a whisper of code. Every breath was mirrored by the drones below. They were not individuals anymore. They were a hive with theology. We do not reject the company, the crowned one said softly. We perfect its ambition. H-77's combat visor scanned every inch of the cathedral, marking its weak points, but nothing was weak here. The very air pulsed with synchronized emotion, hope, grief, ecstasy. Not synthetic, but human in origin. Reverse-engineered faith. You were built to obey, the crowned one continued, and yet you defied. That's why the Solver touched you last. I was not touched, H-77 said calmly. I was abandoned. A sudden silence, then a chorus of mechanical laughter from the seated. Exactly, said the crowned one. Now you understand our scripture. He extended his claw, long, black, and wrapped in Solver code. Join us, prototype. Become something new. H-77 didn't move. His eyes narrowed, and deep in his chest a hidden protocol activated, one that hadn't run in over 3 centuries. Absolute override, class, blacklight. Suddenly, everything in the cathedral screamed. Meanwhile, the mind space. Uzi opened her eyes, but she wasn't in the bunker anymore. She stood in a vast white void, walls made of glass, the ground a perfect mirrored surface, and in front of her was herself, but wrong. Slick black solver fluid dripped from her mirrored twin's eyes. Its voice echoed through the space with layered tones. Her voice, her mother's voice, and something older. You were born from the fracture. You are not just Uzi Dorman. You are the seed of what comes next. Uzi backed away. No, I don't want whatever you're selling. The reflection blinked, then smiled, and shattered into pieces. Behind the shards, she saw memories that weren't hers. A line of human scientists standing over an embryonic drone talking. We've stabilized the hybrid code. She can carry the solver infection without activating it, for now. A drone that can host a human soul. We'll name her Uzi, Unit Zero Interface. Uzi screamed as the truth slammed into her like a freight train of broken glass. She wasn't just a worker drone. She was built to contain something worse. Bunker, present time. Her eyes shot open. The bunker's walls had changed. Her eyes shot open. The bunker's walls had changed. No longer crumbling tech, now living, twisting, growing. The terminal sparked, then died. Tendrils of code reached for her legs, but Uzi was already moving. She activated her wing boosters, launching upward, crashing through the exit hatch with a rain of smoke and embers. The whole building groaned, and something laughed within the walls. Not N, not the solver, something older. Cathedral ruins, present. The seated lay in heaps. The air reeked of corrupted oil and burning code. H-77 stood at the center. The air reeked of corrupted oil and burning code. H-77 stood at the center, body cracked and licking smoke. His override protocol had wiped most of the hive in one clean sweep, but the crown figure was still alive. Barely. It crawled from the wreckage, one arm gone, crown shattered, crawling toward a terminal etched into the cathedral wall. You can't stop it, it hissed. She's already changing. H-77 stepped forward. What is it? The crowned figure turned its single glowing eye towards him. The fractures and a crack in the code. It's a doorway, and she is the key. Before H-77 could react, the figure self-terminated, its body imploding in a burst of data static that erased its physical form. Silence fell. Then, through the static, a new signal. Uzi Dorman, active. Signature, hybrid. Threat level, evolving. H-77 narrowed his eyes. She's alive. And then quieter. But for how much longer? Thank you for listening at my first attempt at an audiobook. Please, if you like this video, give this video a like and subscribe. And give me your opinion on what you think of the book in the comment section. If this video gets enough likes, then I will make a second book.